Welcome to Ask The Latina. The level of educational attainment for Latinas has risen in the past few years, yet it still sits in a level significantly lower than that of other women of race or ethnic groups. Women in general are underrepresented in the tech industry, and Latinas are even more underrepresented. Only 3% of workers in the tech industry are Hispanic. Today our guest is Nelida Velazquez, who is an iOS developer. Nelida is here to share with us her journey as a student in computer engineering to a professional in this industry. Nelida, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
That's great. Nelida, you are from Mexico and currently work for Detroit Labs. Where did you obtain your education and why did you decide to study computer engineering?
Well, it was kind of a journey. I didn't know, I never imagined I was going to be ended up like doing this. I took many different classes in high school, arts, like I tried almost everything. And there was this class called cybernetics where I learned how to code. And that's where I learned to love how to code and all that, and how I decided to go to pursue engineering degree.
Oh, that's great. That's a good opportunity. So tell me about UNAM, the National Autonomous University of Mexico. I understand it's one of the best universities in the world.
Yeah, it's ranked in as the best university of Latin America. It's probably the hardest university to get in Mexico. So you have to get an exam and go through a process to get into the university. I love my alma mater. It was great to study there. It's a very big, it has a very big campus, and
yeah, I saw the pictures actually. We have a few pictures of some of the beautiful buildings with Diego Rivera, the mural, and then also this is David Alfaro Siqueiros, who's really nice. And it's like almost like University of Michigan, the campus is kind of spread out, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I attended to the main campus, which is called Ciudad Universitaria, which is kind of the college city, which is in the heart of Mexico City. And it's so big that it's called a city because it's huge. And I used to love being there. I really miss it. It was one of the best stages in my life. I really miss it.
I'm really impressed with what I saw just with YouTube and some of the links of how much it has to offer in science and art, everything. They have their own theater and everything, right? So beautiful. Yeah,
in fact, if you're pursuing any career in IT, there are at least 3 different schools that you can attend. I went to the engineering school or the engineering faculty, but you can also go to the science faculty or the business faculty even. So nice. You can have 3 different degrees that they vary a little bit in how you specialize. But yeah, there's many options.
Wow, so you can diversify yourself.
Yeah.
That's great. I like that. I also read that UNAM's history has made it a strong advocate for minorities, especially women in tech. And the School of Engineering has organized, along with Google, some of the largest Latina hackathons.
Yeah, I have a friend. She studied with me, and she's doing an amazing career She's been in Google. She organized some of these hackathons, and she's always very involved in doing stuff that trying to reach more women and more minorities into this field.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, for me, I don't know where I will be without UNAM, because my parents didn't have any money to pay for a college degree. But UNAM is free.
Yes, I heard that.
It's a public university, so as long as you study and work hard, you can get in.
So UNAM is doing that, but I think I read that they really expect those that have gone through it to give back in some way as alma maters. I don't know. It's just
that's what they teach you, like to give back to your country, to your alma mater.
That's great. That's nice. I
Yes.
love that it's such an impressive university with everything. You can be a doctor, you can be into scientists, everything, engineering. I saw with everything, I was like, wow, it's just a great diversity, and it was very impressed. So I was really glad to have a chance to see some of the videos before we had a chance to have you on the show.
Yeah, UNAM is probably, if not the first, probably one of the most important hubs for science and technology in Mexico City. A lot of research is done there because it's the largest university in Mexico City, along with the IPN, the institute, the Polytech Institute. So these are two the main institutions that help to in research and technology in Mexico.
That's great. That sounds wonderful. So you had the opportunity to go to college, and it's nice that they offered this opportunity when funding is so difficult, for a lot of students. So so you had to go through an exam, I imagine, right, to get in and so forth, and just make sure you passed it?
Yeah, there's only way that you can get in is through this exam, but you can do it in two different stages of your life. I guess when you want to get into high school, UNAM has high school schools that are part of the system that belong to UNAM. So if you want to get in one of these schools, you have to make a similar exam that you will do when you get into college. It's about the same difficulty. The only thing is that once you get into these schools, because they are elite schools in Mexico, like all these people that are in those schools get priority to go to college or to go to any career of your choice. So I went through that process. I get into high school in one of these elite schools in high school, and I was able to choose a career that I want and go directly to that.
Wow.
To that school. If you decide to postpone that process, you can get the exam when you want to actually go to college. The only thing is that it's more difficult because people that are in the high school schools have priority over those who just try to get in for the first time.
Oh, okay.
So it's the test is about the same difficulty, but there's less positions.
So it's good to do that during high
earlier.
school.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. I like that. Plus, you're getting advanced before everyone else too, right?
Yeah, you are prepared because those schools are designed for the whatever career you want to pursue. So the programs and everything is designed for the next stage. So it's definitely better to try to get in since the beginning.
That's good. How did you had your education where you were today? I mean, how has that taken you today where you are? As far as now you had this education, where has it taken you career-wise? What type of jobs has it opened up the door for you in your field?
There's so many, like I can think of any possibilities. Coding is it opens so many doors. Like you can work in almost any industry that you can think of.
That's true, because just about everyone needs an app.
Yeah, a software.
In just about any kind of industry, you're right.
If you think about everywhere, there's software for.
That's true.
The smallest thing that you can think of, and yeah, we need people who knows how to code to make things work, and that is expanding more and more. So it's a kind of difficult question to answer because that's what I'm trying to figure out myself. There's so many options now. I have the basic skills, but every day there's so many new things to learn that you have to
keep up with everything.
Yeah, you have to keep up every single day, and there's no way that you can learn absolutely everything. You have to choose what to do.
True. I think that's like in any field. If you're a doctor, you got to keep up to date with everything. But with technology, I'm sure that's even so because it's changing very drastically. So you've developed iOS and Android applications. Here's one that you developed that we're going to show where you worked at Domino's.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So you actually analyze your program and you go forward with that. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, you need software for everything, and I ended up doing software for ordering pizza.
And then the time for the pizza, I saw both of them. There's one where also what time you're going to get your pizza, so make sure.
Yeah. Yeah, pizza tracker. Yeah, that's for me one of the most fun features of the app.
Yeah.
So I started working on Domino's. It was 4 or 5 years ago, 2013, probably. I learned a lot there.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, I saw that, you said you launched it. I'm like, I gotta see that, so I'm trying it out. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I've always been fascinated to learn about programming apps, and there are a lot of terminologies out there that I've been reading, like Swift, JavaScript, React Native is a new one, and so on. So Nelida, is it different to develop an application for Apple than for Android, and is there any common coding for both?
There are some technologies that are emerging to try to code once and distribute to every single platform. In my opinion, still those technologies are still new, and it's a little bit difficult to really code a single thing for both platforms.
So like this React Nation that's new.
Yeah, React Native, even
Native.
when you can have part of the code that is for both platforms, you still need customized pieces to make it run in Android or iOS.
Interesting.
So yeah, I believe that at some point we will be coding on the same language for both platforms. I mean, we are doing it already with React Native, which uses JavaScript, which is a language that is used for this. But as of right now, I think I personally still prefer native applications. Native applications means coding either Swift or Objective-C for iOS, or Java or Kotlin is a new language for Android. So if you ask me, I still prefer to code for individual platforms.
Yeah. It's probably a little better. Well, and then when you're coding, are you working with someone who's doing the graphic design, or are you also interfacing?
Yeah,
because it's probably a team that you have, right?
Yeah. Typically there's designers, and we work along designers, quality assurance engineers, product managers, delivery leads, business analysts. It's not just us. Like people tend to think, oh, this is amazing, and the developers that
well,
do
you're
all
still
this
the one
work.
that's analyzing, like, your field. You're supposed to analyze. You're supposed to solve a problem. And so they probably come and say, this is the problem, and this is what we wanted to do. And you're probably going, okay, I have to figure this out.
Yeah,
right?
I don't like to. I was going to say feel special because there's so many people behind these apps, and it's not just the developers. It's work from many people, and together we solve the problems. It's not that we just stay in our screen and do some.
But without your mechanics, our marketing or our visions wouldn't come alive. So that's pretty cool. So what do you think are key requirements you would recommend going into this field of study? If someone was interested, I mean, what are some? I know I went to a high school, and there was Latino students. They organized this with programmers that came from California to teach them JavaScript early. And I don't know, do you think that a requirement to have a little bit of something like that, like you had that experience and you loved it after that because you had a chance to taste a little bit of it?
Yeah, there's so many stereotypes also in this field that for a long time I thought that I started late on this career because I used to know people that started coding when they were 10 years old or things like that, and I started when I was 16, 17 years old, and I thought that's probably too late. It's never late. That's one thing. I have many coworkers. I have many coworkers that they switch careers. They were teachers, and now they are developers. They were comedians, and now they are developers. And people who study philosophy, and now they are developers. So that's the first thing. There's never too late. And for kids, there's many games on the app stores. If you want to teach your kid to code, there's a lot of apps that teach kids to code in a very friendly way, very intuitive way.
Yeah, that's good. I know my son's dabbled on it, both of them, one creating a website and the other one did a game for his class. So I was like, wow, you're coding already. So it is fascinating to see that there's so much out there for someone to kind of, kids especially, and then get them interested, especially younger Latinas especially, that we don't have enough of. So there are many areas in computer engineering for Latinas to consider, and we have a list that shows some of them that if you go into computer engineering jobs, these are the ones like systems analysts. I saw that there was also programmers or hardware engineer, software engineer, all different areas, application developers, and so there's so much you could do, and even being information system managers. So Nelida, did any of these other areas of engineering interest you and some time of your career? Or, because I see there's so many different areas there.
Yeah, like for a long time I thought like in our field is typical that you are a developer, and some people pursue managing positions, and I never really liked that much, like stop coding, because people go into managing and they don't code anymore.
Oh, they forget.
And I didn't want that. I really love what I do, and I just want to keep doing what I love. And the amazing thing is in the company that I work on right now, we have a flat structure, which means we don't have a boss or anything, or there's no managing per se. We are adults and we are responsible to get things done. So if you like to code, you can advance in your career learning different things. Like if you now want to learn JavaScript and be a web developer instead of iOS developer, you can do it. And that's a different way to develop your career, not necessarily from here to here, but more like horizontal way. And I really like that, because you don't have to stop to do what you like to do in order to develop yourself or learn new things.
That's great. So do you think there's a little bit of stereotyping going on with the concept that women or Latinas are not expected in these fields? And have you ever experienced this, and how did you handle it?
I have experienced that a lot. Unfortunately. At the beginning, the way I used to handle it, it was ignoring the situation.
Right.
And I thought that will provide me, just a way that don't think about the situation. But in the end, those kind of situations still are with you. And you can ignore them, but they still affect you.
Yeah, definitely.
So now I've been trying to acknowledge things and try to call out when things happen.
Good for you.
And
be more assertive and say, hey,
be more
good for you.
assertive. And if someone say, I don't know, something, ask, what do you mean? And try to have a conversation with that person. I
think it's also educating them. Then why not Latinas and why not women can be in this field? It's because you see one doesn't mean there's not going to be a trail coming,
Exactly.
So good for you. Yeah, you definitely, and we all have to in many of these areas, especially in technology and stuff, because, what more? We as Latinas, actually, Nelida, you have advice for Latinas, but one of the things I want to mention is that Latinas are using more of the technology. So of course you would be more, we're actually understanding more what Latinas are looking for, so it would be very important to have more women and women in general. We're using it a lot more for a lot of different things that we need to adapt. We're probably more using apps just to get our things together and ordering things or just getting things together. So
yeah, we need to diversify the teams that work in technology. There are so many examples how the lack of diversity can cause not just issues with users, but in some situations can cause accidents, things like that. Like for example, in cars, because of the size of the seat, for a man it was certain size, and it was not tested for women's body.
Right.
And so it's it can cause problems not have diverse
diversity.
team.
You need to have that. That's good. Well, good for you. I'm so happy to have you in the show, and we've learned a lot. And thank you for being my guest today and sharing your journey with our audience. I really appreciate that. And for more on engineering careers and scholarships, visit our website, askthelatinas.com, under education. And make sure to share this show to inspire more Latinas to enter this field. Thank you for watching our show, and we look forward to your joining us on other episodes of Ask the Latina.